Guys, welcome in. I've got my buddy here, Jack. Many of you guys know Jack.
G'day.
Man, back when I was getting started, he was the original gangster as far as subscribers go. Back in the early days, we were rocking Google Plus, and you invited me into a group. I had no idea how to use Google Plus, and then from that, met a bunch of people. Really got into the online community of the RC, because I was just playing with them, locally until the Google Plus days. So, yeah. Say hello. Tell everybody a little bit about your background with RC, because you've been doing it a while before you got into FP. You've had a lot of different avenues you've gone down, and we'll try to get into them.
Can I take this?
You can take the hat off if
Yeah.
The branding's it's already been emblazoned in. We've got it everywhere.
I've given you enough.
This thing is all about self-promotion tonight. I don't know. I'm looking. There's logos everywhere. I should have. I don't usually wear these hats that often anymore.
That hat there, I like. You might have to send me that, man.
Yeah, I was supposed to have ordered like 6 more, but they never showed up.
So a bit about me. I'm Jack, obviously. Tony's
Outback Jack.
I got him ready to go later on, but I've had a couple of channels which Tony and a couple other guys I deleted a long time ago. Now I started. My first RC was Tomato.
Were you RC FPV vids when I first met you? Because I think that's the sticker I had on the board. Yes. RC FPV vids. That's when it first started. That's what I knew you as.
Correct. Yes.
It's been 100 different names since then, but that was the original.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, a friend of mine back in 1982, a friend of mine had RCs, and I knew nothing about them. And so I ended up buying a Tamiya Super Champ.
Okay.
And he put it together and all that sort of stuff. It was a kit, obviously. I've actually still got I ended up selling it. It was all in bits and pieces when I sold it. But I've actually still got I shouldn't have got rid of the transmitter, the Futaba, but I've still got the NiCad battery.
You got the crystals and everything?
Yeah. And
Is it crystal radios? And
I still got.
So we'll talk, because Jack does some crazy stuff with radios to get extra range. So there's a lot. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah. Hey, Alan, how you doing? Dirk, how you doing? I see Dominic.
John Martin,
Dominic RC is there.
Yep. And a bunch of people jumping in.
G'day. And I actually kept the little diff foil
from the Tamiya.
Yes, I still got
it. Did you use it? Is it an empty?
No, it's got oil in it.
Wow.
I kept it as a souvenir, mate.
That's crazy, dude.
Well, I shouldn't have got rid of the transmitter. That's what I shouldn't have got rid of.
Yeah.
Because they're collector's items, those.
I was going to say, that's what I was asking, if you had it still.
They are collector's items, yes. And anyway, so that was my first RC back in 1982. We bashed it.
Which one is it? Tamiya?
It was a Tamiya Super Champ.
Super Champ, that was it. Yeah.
Yes. And we bashed that around. We smashed it with this, with that, and then it was in pieces and everything. And I kept it for so many years. And then I came across a guy that collects Tamiya. And what he does is he restores them. Doesn't matter if they're in pieces. He restores them and makes them into shelf coins.
Nice.
And that's so I sold it to him for Australian dollars, $390.
Wow. So which was a lot of value, yeah.
Well, I could have got more if it was probably in not in bits and pieces.
Right.
So so I ended up selling it to him, and he restored it and sent me pictures and everything, and it was unbelievable. So that was my first RC, and then I didn't go and get into RC until further down the track, obviously. That was just something that happened back in those days when we were teenagers.
That's awesome. Let's engage them for a second. I see Dana's in here. Jack just told us when he got in 1982.
Was my first
Super Champ.
Yes, correct.
What was all your guys' first RC and what year? And we'll come back and take a look at it in a minute. So after that, what happened? So 1982, that's a century ago
Yeah,
or
that
so,
is.
and then almost a half century.
I'm old enough as it is. Reminisce on that. Um, so yeah, I didn't get back into didn't start really getting into the hobby until way, way further down the track, which was it was back in 2008, I do believe, or 2000. No, sorry, I'm a bit. My memory is not the best. 2006 or 2007 is when I met someone who was in a plane club,
Okay.
RC planes. He was in a club local, not far from me, and so I went to a couple of outings there just to go on the airfield that they got down there, and I just watched these things, and I was just kind of wow, you know.
Hmm.
And there was the old petrol ones and the nitros and
I
stuff, and
remember vividly my dad taking me to the school baseball fields and watching guys fly RC planes and just being, as a kid, it was the coolest thing ever.
yeah, it
Oh my
was just
goodness.
I was just standing there, and I was just mesmerized by these guys flying these planes. Anyway, and so I got into obviously the beginner planes as you do when you start, and
Did they have foam back then, or were they
yeah,
also wood? Okay.
no, there was all sorts, but I got my ones were just the old gliders and that the
Yeah.
beginner planes that you fly,
Kind of throw them for takeoff and then
yeah, and all that sort of stuff, and I ended up getting obviously a simulator. It was an old simulator, but just to learn a bit. Um, because you can't just get a plane, put a battery in it, and just throw it. Doesn't work like that. And a good
Mhm.
example of that was JD Passel.
Is that what he did?
When he had the EDF, when he had the EDF jet, he put the EDF jet, he threw it straight to the ground.
Oh no.
Especially EDFs, you gotta know what's going on.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, so I started getting into the planes, and I crashed a lot and all that, so as you do. And I remember your first time in the fence,
I
and
did pretty good. I did pretty
you
good on the first
yeah,
day, and it was like my third time going back out after charging, and the sun was setting, and I was already doing inverted
that
and
was
flips and loops and all that stuff, and it went in front of the sun, and I didn't know if I was up or down, and I tried to and put it right in the cornfield, man. Just
yeah.
buried it.
That was a great plane though.
It
Like
was
they
it was really
yeah,
good.
felt
It
frightened
stayed
to do
good.
that.
Yeah. There's a bunch of people in here. 1980 fat wheel Jeep. David Pig, Jem's Hobbies, Grasshopper, 1986. So right around the time, a lot of them, I saw that Dirk was even Tamiya Frog, 1984. He was 12 years old. Somebody do the math for us. How old is Dirk now? Can we do math? It's
Can't be older than me,
11:30.
dude.
uh, this year I have to dust off the Granite BLX and test out the new servo. Jeff Brown says Tamiya Hornet, 1986.
Yeah,
Hey,
the whole
Eclectic Electric. Mikey Jackson, 47, just bought his first axial deadbolt last year. That's awesome, dude. I was 35 when I got my first real-ish one, I think. 35, 30. Oh, man, I don't even remember anymore. It's like 2013, so I don't know how
2013,
old.
was it?
That's like 10 years ago. So 33 I would have been.
Oh, really?
Um,
Happy birthday, Blue Cuban. 52 today. Good on you, mate. Does
so yeah, April 5th, 2013, I got um the Gravedigger. T-word Gravedigger. Ed Duchemin says Blackfoot, not sure the year. Scott Long, 94 RC10 carpet racer. Nitro. M-Dub got in with a Nitro 97. That's a tough starting point.
Hey,
So,
Vess. Hey, Vess is here. Have a look at that. You'd be surprised to see me up here, Vess. What do you reckon, mate?
first RC was to be a TB01 around 2000. Rally car focus body on it. Makovich says 82. Same Mazda RX-7 from Sears Catalog. So our first, like, I guess probably hobby grade before we knew what they were like the Nico or the Lobo. The Lobo is what it was. So Dana said, I don't have a spreadsheet. I have an Apple Note. And
Spreadsheet.
it has when I got my first RC car, when I got my second RC car, and
Hey, Vess,
when I started the YouTube channel. Those are the only dates. Because people ask all the time. 19, yeah. All right. So planes, you got into it. You went from being a spectator to having a glider, and then you went nuts. Hey, Kagan.
Yeah, I went a bit nuts. Yeah, then I started buying kits and putting my electronics in them and stuff like that. And I see Vass down there in the chat. Long time, yeah, it's been a long time for sure. Yeah, so I just started, getting to meet a lot of other people from that club.
So that's what, 90s then, or is it still the 80s when you got into flying?
No, it was later down the track, way later down the track.
Okay.
Then. But
90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, it was later. It was about 2007, I think it was something like that.
Okay, so it was not that long ago you got into planes. But before I met you,
Yeah,
you were still doing some planes when I met you because you were doing some FPV flying.
That's correct, yes.
And then you were doing the FPV driving and stuff.
Yes, correct. So
yeah,
I did all the kits and all that. Bought different planes. I went kind of crazy on buying. Kept buying planes and stuff, and went a bit nuts. I smashed so many. Vats would know because I gave him a plane once, and it was all taped up.
Was flying a big thing in Australia, like the RC planes? Was it huge, like pretty big in the hobby shops and all that?
Only pretty much in the clubs, really.
Okay.
A couple of clubs.
I know Vass is really into it too. I've seen on his.
Yeah, he got
really into flying.
He got into the plane. Yeah, he's a pretty good flyer. He's better than me, and yeah, he got into the planes and stuff. I'm just laughing at the plane that I gave him. That was all. I think it was a Bixler that I gave him back in the day. That was back at Vass. That was got to be about 2013 or 14 or something, wasn't it? Something like that.
All tore up.
Mate, it was I'll tell you what, but hey, it still flew, I think.
Yeah, hey.
Foamies, when you put foamies, if you just tape them up here and there and that, they'll still fly.
Yeah.
So I just mocked it up and whatever. I thought, I don't know whether he actually he might tell us down there, but I don't know whether he actually flew or not. Hey, Tank, Brandon Timlin.
Yeah, a bunch of guys jumping in now. RC Master, Dana.
Yeah.
So I remember one of the first RCs I ever wanted was the Tracks or whatever it was. The ones they showed these cool commercials of it jumping, and I think it would like roll over and like flip itself back over, and I think it was something Tracks. I don't remember what it was, but I remember that. I like that. So how did you jump into FPV? Because you were early, like before the drones, like you were figuring that junk out early, and you were going distances because you had like these crazy antennas set up. Because that's when what we met. So if I started my YouTube channel at the end of so basically January 2015, I started. So that's when we met.
He's blaming me for the.
He says that plane Jack gave me was a busted Bixler, not worth fixing.
I'll
Took the electrics out.
Hey, it still worked. Still worked.
His addiction started there, though. He's blaming you for getting him started on it.
I get
a new foaming's not bad, man. Like that's not too. The electrics are so expensive.
Yes, they are. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I'll have some electronics going on eBay, slightly driven, possibly crushed a little bit, but
crushed.
mostly intact. Uh, they'll probably be going on eBay. They still work pretty good. Just the cars themselves don't.
Me and Vasco back. Me and
Fast
Vas
Tracks, Tyco, bam.
Fast tracks.
You
Tracks.
guys remember?
Yeah. Me and Vasco, way back, I met Vas, I think, you might have to refresh my memory, Vas, but I think it was 2013. I think got together,
Okay.
had a bit of fun, this and that here and there, and we had a bit of a fallout. But that bygones be bygones. I apologized to him and stuff like that, but bygones are by. It's in the past now, so we might have to
Yeah.
catch up again, Vas. I've actually moved, mate. I moved closer to where you are.
Yeah.
I'm in Crazy Bird now, Vas. It's a hole up here, I tell you. But yeah,
Tyco Turbo Hopper. Oh man, I forgot Tyco. There were so many Tycos.
okay. In 2000, how my old school FPV started was back in 2000, around about 2011. I met. He was my mentor. I called him Hans out of Holland, and he did the long distance FPV with his massive 2 meter wingspan planes that he built. This guy was an absolute genius. In my books, he built his own systems, antennas, you name it. We exchanged stuff. I bought him cameras and stuff, and he made me antennas for FPV. Now, back in those days, it was the good old 900 megahertz,
Yeah,
not
there
the.
wasn't many options.
It
It's
was a
not like
900.
with the drone stuff.
Yeah, so it was 900 megahertz. And if people know about FPV, 900 megahertz penetrates, goes around buildings, walls, trees. There's no glitching.
Now, do you have to have like a license, like a
Yes.
ham radio license to
For,
operate it?
yes, for 900 megahertz, you have to have a ham license to fly or
Okay.
whatever. But 900 megahertz now, it's nearly just about obsolete. There are the 433 megahertz long range, which can go up to, I think the furthest I saw was 80 kilometers with the 433 megahertz, which is insane, really. But you can go further
Mhm.
now. There's other things out there. Now I'm out of the loop completely with RC, but as you know, but yeah, for the long distance sort of stuff is the higher
900
frequency.
megahertz, and you had to
Higher,
have the
yeah.
license, yeah.
Yes, you have to have the license, correct. Dana Surratt, how you doing down there? Phones are
Oh,
starting
cordless
to
phones, yes, starting a microwave. Man, we
correct,
try to
yeah,
show some of our kids, like, we just watched on YouTube, like, a bunch of the commercials from the '80s. It's just, like, people compile them, and we just watch through them, and then it's like, "Dude, you guys don't even know what that is." Like, the phones and everything, you watch, like, Alf or the old sitcoms.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
RC Master is an OG as well. Um, Mel Myrtle, first one, Dash 4x4 from Radio Shack. Yeah, I forgot it. We also had so my parents did get us some RC stuff, but again, like Nico is like a Yamaha 4x4, or you guys call them quads, like the not 4x4, a four-wheeler, or quad bike, kind of a thing. And we had those, and those were really fun. I keep looking for them on eBay to get one and try and like rebuild it with more modern electronics, because they were super fun wheelie machines, just wheelies for days.
yeah.
So
So anyway, I got into. It wasn't easy the first time, that's for sure. I'll tell you right now.
to fly, or the FPV flying?
FPV because I was running a 10-inch monitor with my ground station. Now, when I did mine, I had a Futaba 7T cap, 36 megahertz. I'm a Futaba freak, so people down there for
Yeah.
Spectrum and all that, I'm Futaba 100%, especially even back then. Now, I never used crystals in my transmitter and receiver. I use synthesized receivers, which you can get. I don't know whether they sell them anymore. They weren't cheap. I had to get them out of Hong Kong, and
Yeah.
not much glitching with the synthesized receivers, which was pretty good. And they binded really well with the transmitter. And so the furthest I got, I think, about 2 kilometers. That's as far as I went. But it
Two
was very,
kilometers? That's a distance.
yeah, with the radio.
Now, were you like you used to do some of it in the city, right? Like I remember you do stuff like have a ground station in your backyard. You're at
No,
your back porch,
front yard,
right?
front yard, yeah,
Front yard. Okay, you're on
on
the
the
porch.
veranda,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's the ground FPV. With the planes, I went at 2 kilometers.
Okay, but that was like you went to a park or somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we were out in the open completely.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing, no anyone or traffic or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because it came down this and that, blah blah blah.
Right.
It's not going to hit anybody.
That's
And
right. Because you were doing the car ones when I met you already.
correct.
FPV in cars. So your
Yes,
setup for your ground station was in your front. Yeah.
yes, yes.
I still
So
remember my favorite one. One of my favorite videos was when you took your car to go get the sandwich, the little
the
sub
kebab,
thing.
the
Yeah,
kebab,
the wrap.
my mate's restaurant.
Yeah. I put it on your car and
I
brought
still
it
got
back.
that.
It's
I still got
so
that
awesome.
somewhere. But yeah, so I did the FPV. Um, like I said, Hans was my mentor on here, who sadly passed away 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
It was pretty sad. They didn't find him until after 3 weeks, which is even worse.
Mm.
And he taught me everything about FPV. He was one of the first to actually put an FPV system on his Summit. Way before the other guys, he did all that. He made his own mounts and gimbals and all that. He did all that sort of stuff. The guy was just brilliant at what he did. But yeah, sadly, he's known. So I've lost about 5 people I've known on here. Crazy.
Mm.
He was my mentor for um, a long time. So I met him early I think it was early 2011. I think it was.
Okay.
And
Nice.
funnily enough, I actually met him on my guitar channel,
Okay.
not on my RC.
So you had the Phantom's guest RC or guitar channel.
No, the Phantom's guest guitar, yes, or just
Yep.
the Phantom's guest back then, which is no longer. And yeah, so then I spoke to him a while because I saw his setup on his Summit, which is fantastic the way he used to do it, and his videos and everything. And also, he had a professional photographer that sometimes did his videos back then. And then I asked him about how about if I did on the ground and stuff. And so he told me what I needed and everything like that. He actually put me onto that Futaba radio transmitter. He goes, "That'll work,"
I'm afraid to try one really because switching my stuff over would be very expensive. I'd need a lot of receivers.
No, but this was a 36 megahertz. You won't want to go back to that.
No. The new
now.
ones, the 7PX whatever.
Yeah,
a bunch of letters.
Yeah,
and
but that's
numbers.
for the ground, not for the
Yeah.
yeah.
But they're
So,
still
yeah.
really good. The control on them is so precise and so immediate. But yeah.
Yeah,
Neo
I had
RC says he could go for a wrap right
Yeah,
now.
I
You should
saw it.
FPV one, Neo.
I don't know what channel I've got it on. I can show the people if they want to see it. I can show it on here. You just share the screen. And yeah, so I did. So I started doing a bit of experimenting with the ground FPV. I know Track Salou and all that sort of stuff started later down the track, and they did the summits and all that sort of thing. I tried doing one with a Tonka, didn't work. Tonka was too heavy, and I didn't have a Summit chassis. But the Summits were the way to go back then. And thanks very much, Kagan. I'll
Yes,
see
thanks,
Kagan down there.
Kagan, for that. Dropping
And
his channel in there.
it's a dead channel, so if anyone wants to go and have a look at my older videos, we'll get into the other stuff, what I did later on down the track, which is, to me, was a fail, but Yeah, so I started experimenting, going out into open spaces and see how far I can go. So the first couple of times I travelled on the ground was around 600 meters. Now, obviously, we're metric here, so I don't know what that is in imperial. So it was about. So I kept creeping and creeping and all that sort of stuff. And hey, these old flapping lips, what a great
Yep.
name that
Hello.
is.
Yeah.
How you doing? Everyone else there, down there, if I didn't say hello. And so I just kept getting further and further. And one day I went down with a mate of mine down to Vas, if you're still in the chat, would probably know. Down by the back of the Royal Children's Hospital down there, there's a massive park down there, Royal Park at the back there. And where the back of the where the helicopter lands is a massive oval, and there's a track that goes right around. It's like about 3 kilometer track.
Yeah.
So I've got videos of that on my channel, and the people. It was funny because I put a couple of texts in some of these videos that I did. So I started traveling around there and see how far I can get. So I was getting further. I got to 800 and something meters, because I did the mapping,
Yep.
see how far I actually went. I didn't have uh, the telemetry. I
Like
didn't
the
have
GPS
yeah, I
telemetry.
didn't
Yeah.
have that till later on down the track. I ended up getting one, so I could see it on the monitor. I never used goggles. It was just all straight out of the monitor. So I travelled this track around there, and this is a people were jogging on this track on bikes and all. So
I remember that, man.
I'm ducking and weaving.
They
I'm ducking
look
and
at you
weaving.
weird when you go
Yeah,
by.
there was a particular one. I think I've still got them on my channel. I don't know. I don't even know what I got on my channel anymore. But there was a particular day where I set up my Traxxas Dakar as a FPV,
Yeah.
which was fantastic. It worked really well.
I used to love those trucks.
Yeah, I've still got it. So, oh, whoops, I mentioned the T word. Am I allowed to do that?
I think so because it's commentary. It should be allowed.
Well, surely.
It's
So
commentary. So
anyway, I used the Dakar as a FPV ground unit and set it all up and everything, and I ended up getting longer range antennas, which was I think it was, oh god, what was his name? There was a guy that came out a few years ago, and he sold his own antennas and that. I got all my FPV gear out of Ready Made RC, out of the
okay.
States. None of my
Yep.
stuff was out of Hong Kong or Shenzhen or wherever. Most of mine was out of ready, and they weren't cheap.
Right.
Out of Ready Made RC, and so I got all that stuff there, and I just kept building it up and up to get further and further. So that's what my intention was to do. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going around this track and people are jogging and walking and all that, and I'm looking at the monitor and I see this guy walking towards me in a red jumper, and I stopped my truck, and the guy's looking up in the air. He stopped and started looking up in the air, thinking, "Where's the
Where's
person
this being
driving me?"
controlled? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's looking up in the
Why are you
sky.
looking up? Yeah.
He's looking up in the sky. It was so funny, and I had I had that on video. How I used to do my setup quickly was I had the first GoPro. I also had the Mobius, which I sold, not sold, sorry. I'll take that back. Gave away so many in my giveaways back in the days. I gave
Yep.
a lot of them out.
Remember that?
The good old Mobius, which were
Mobius. Yep.
fantastic little keychain cameras.
Yep.
Um,
That was
I
your
used
go-to.
I used the Mobius for my live out for my monitor, which goes back to the ground station, and I had the old GoPro Hero, the first GoPro,
Yeah.
which I used for my recording. So I had the Mobius, and then I had the old GoPro for my recording. Well, I tried to teach you about FPV down there, JD Pastor. I do see you down there. You don't like when I help you, mate. I see you there. So anyway, that's what my was, and then later down the track, I don't know if Vass is still down there. did a FPV with Vass up his way a couple of times, I think. We went around the oval down there, and Vass had a go and all that sort of stuff. Aussie RC Playground. He had a bit of a go. He liked it and everything, and we had a bit of fun. And I also set up a couple of other RCs. My Duratrax buggy. I set that up as a FPV. Obviously, Darren Dorian, who's not here, obviously, made my SCX10, as you know, back in the day.
Yeah.
He made that completely for FPV, but the only problem is it was just too heavy and it just tipped. It was just when I go around corners, it was just, and I wasn't going to go further out and have a tip and then I'll have my FPV gear with Fat Shark and you still got your stuff. Oh,
Fat
okay.
sharks are nice. I wish I hadn't
Yeah.
sold mine.
Yeah, we had the old monitor back then, Vass. But yeah,
What's this vlog doing on here? Says Sean.
don't worry about
Sean
me.
Garcia Adventures just popped in.
That's all right, bruv. Worry about the other flogs over there in England, mate. What's going on over there? Good old Reds, huh? Yeah, so I made up a couple of other. Vass did a couple of. I'll give you a shout out, Vass. No worries about that. Vass did a few videos, putting my RCs in his videos back in the day. Vass, I got to tell you, mate. I bought this boat, right? We we got into the boats, right? And I bought this Genesis out of Hobby King. This is the 1 meter boat, which I think it was 6S. I think it was.
Yeah,
by memory.
That's a fast boat.
Vass is going to laugh at me here because we went out to the. Yeah, you never walk alone there. I see you, Sean. We went out to the local lake up here by us, and we dumped the boat. We dumped the boat in the lake, and this thing's going like 3-4 kilometers an hour. It just wouldn't move, right? and we were trying to work
What's
out.
6S? It was 3 to 4.
Hang on, I'm going to get to the punchline because Vass is going to laugh at me now once he knows why. Anyway, so we the thing's just crawling in the water, if you want to put it that way. It's just just idling in the water. We're trying to. Now I had a transmitter which was the K. I think it was a K200 or something. They're actually good transmitters. They get pretty good distance. This is a long time ago we're talking about, right? And we just couldn't work out. It was, the batteries no good. We couldn't work out what was going on, blah, blah, blah. And Vass, don't laugh at me, mate, but my dual rates I worked out later on were on minimum.
Oh. For your throttle?
Everything we tried to work out with the boat, but it was the dual rates. The throttle trim was right down. It's going to laugh at me now. I thought about that. I thought that's what it was.
Speaking of your boat going slow, he just posted a video I just saw. Had a ton of views on it. Recently released. There's a boat video trying to go 100 miles per hour with a boat.
Who's that?
Vass, Aussie RC Playground.
Like I said, I'm not in the loop on RC. I've got no idea what's going on. I have to check it out. But
yeah, he just posted it.
I was a fan of the more of the catamarans, or not the V hull. I had a couple of V hulls.
Yeah,
they were all right, the V hulls, but I just like the catamarans a bit more. Did he hit 100?
I don't know. I didn't get to the end of it. I just saw it had a ton of views. My life's been a bit of a mess this week. So
hey, Nick B, how you doing down there, man? I see you there. How you doing, Nick? Some of the old guys.
I started watching. He's like, "All right, go." He's yelling at it, and that thing just came screaming. But I didn't stick around to see what the reading was on the transmitter. It was impressive. Got 151 kilometers per hour.
What?
151 kilometers per hour.
Where did you run it? You didn't take it to where we went, to Edwards Lake, did you? Did you go down there? No, surely you need something bigger for that, wouldn't it?
That's like
I'm not warm.
90, 93-ish, 90, 94
How you
miles per
doing, Nick?
hour,
Good to
somewhere in
see you, mate.
there. Okay,
Yes, sir.
95. Yeah, he says it's about 95. Dang. That's
Really?
hauling, man.
Has he
That's
got a
all.
jack?
The
Has he
fastest
got a
I've had a car go is 83, I think. I had the infraction going. And I was not enjoying it. It was so terrifying that I didn't get a rush out of it like I should have.
what are you doing down in Lilydale? Nice part of the world down there,
Yeah.
by the way. In Lilydale Lake, really?
What's up,
Wow, you're
RC Patina guy?
RC Patina. How you doing?
He makes some beautiful builds. I'll tell you what. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, so that's what it was. Vass,
Trim, you dual rate.
there was actually on that transmitter, it had 2 different types of trims on it and dual rates on it that I worked out. I've still got it. I don't know why I've still got it. But yeah, both of the trims were that's why it was we didn't even check that back then. So that's what it was. Lilydale Lake, mate, you're traveling for RC these days, huh?
So you did boats, you did FPV, you had a lot of cool on-road cars like the Holden
I'll get to
and
them. Yeah, I'll get to them. But
okay. You had
the
some
the
beautiful ones.
FPV finally worked out with hands how I can get further and all that sort of stuff. And he built me some really great antennas that he sent over. He was a fantastic guy. He was just an absolute gentleman. A lot older guy in his 60s, but he knew
Okay.
everything. He knew everything. He was the first person to use my music on his channel, by the way.
Was he?
Back in those days, yes. That's how I met him. I met him on my guitar channel, not RC. So anyway, back in 2000, and I think it was 2012 or 13, I was seeing a girl down by the beach, down by Altona Beach. There's a nice strip down there opposite the golf course down there. And that's where I flew planes as well down there when it wasn't too windy, obviously, because you're down right on the beach. And there's this track that goes a long way. It starts from the top of the road there, and then it goes all the way down to the beach and around the sidewalks and all that sort of stuff, the car park and that. And I set up a short course truck FPV, the good old Tanegi short course truck, that yellow thing that they brought out years ago. And I put my FPV gear on that, and I traveled 1.2 kilometers. So that was the furthest that I got.
Mhm.
I did do it. It was a 14-minute video that I did. But what happened was when I drove it to where it stopped, I stuffed up because I went down to the edge of the shoreline there. There's a little bit of a hill. I've done some videos there. And I went down. But before then, when I was running on the track, the path, bikes use it, people walk on it and all that sort of stuff. I could see in my monitor 2 elderly people walking across. I don't know whether you remember this video. It was 2 elderly people walking across, so I had to slow down and go around them, right?
Yeah.
So when I turned the corner down there and then headed towards the beach, I went down and then down again, and my freaking truck got stuck on seaweed. So this thing wasn't moving anymore, right? And I'm hitting the throttle and everything. Now, these 2 people, the elderly people,
Yeah.
how they saw my truck down the bottom, I got no idea. All I see was someone pick up my truck and then put it back on the grass, and then back I came, and it was that old fella that come across when I had to go around him. He must have heard the motor obviously going crazy, and he put it back on the grass, and back I came, and I tried to look for him later on, but they were long gone just to thank him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was
Saved you
that
a
was
walk.
that was
That would have
yeah,
been quite a walk of shame right there.
yes, that was, and I can't walk very far, as you know, but
Yeah.
not very good in that. But I had a friend with me that time that they could have got it, but Yeah, that was, the furthest I went was 1.2 kilometers, and that's, on the ground. So, hey, not too bad. Get further than that now, but, um, yeah, so, that was my FPV days. Then I did other stuff with FPV. I did the kebab thing that I did, which was, quite funny. I hooked a trailer onto the back of I think it was my CX-10, I can't remember, and, went to my mate's restaurant. He put a kebab, on the back of the trailer, brought it back to, the front of my place and, had lunch. So, I didn't get many views on those videos. Some of them I did, some of them I didn't. So, anyway, then I met this bozo, and I met that other bozo that's in the chat, Tank. He's somewhere
Yeah.
down there.
Was it about the same time when we all got in the groups on?
No,
Well,
me
tell
and
tell about how you met me and all that, and then when we get into the next part, I'll ask about that.
Well, I met Tank first. Me and Tank go way back. Um, uh, it's around the same kind of time, sort of thing. But um, Tank, how I met Tank was Tank wanted to use my music, my guitar music. So he subscribed to my guitar channel, and
First,
then
he'd seen
yes,
your guitar music first. Okay.
yes. So he said, no. I had RC, but he subscribed because I commented on his
Oh, okay.
videos. So he hopped over to my guitar channel, and he wanted to use some, heavy stuff or rock, whatever.
Yeah.
So he used some of my music on his videos, and that's how we met. And then obviously Google Plus then arrived. But first, we were the first ones to do in. I can't remember anyone else, but what is about some? Well, yeah, I'm giving you another shout out. Your use by date's over. It's all over for you, old man. The use by date's way gone, mate. So me and Tank started the with Google Plus, and then Google Hangouts, which were the best. I'll get you into that in a minute, but we
Yeah,
back
before
in
this kind of stuff right here.
exactly, yes,
Way before this.
yes,
But it's
2000,
surprising how quickly this has all become normal, because it wasn't normal
2014.
back then at all. It was
No,
not normal. I
no, no,
remember
no, no,
being
no, no.
like, I'm going to hang out with some dudes online. I don't know. Like, I remember telling my wife, I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
we
know what that's
was
about, but it could be weird.
oh, that's right, that's right.
Right?
If you're new to it, yes, but we
Yeah.
started it back in 2014.
Yeah.
So we started the Hangouts back then. I'm not
Yep.
gonna give you all the credit, Tank, you know that. I see you down there, don't worry. But, yeah, we started up the Google Hangouts and the Google Plus groups that we did. Tank made a group, I made a good the RC Brotherhood, I think it was called, I can't remember really.
RC
And,
Brotherhood. It was the RC Brotherhood.
the RC Brotherhood, that I started up, and,
Yep.
this is when I met, then I met how I met Tony was, I used to do a lot of giveaways and shout outs on my channel, and that's how I met Tony. And Tony had like, I think it was when I first met Tony, it was, I think roughly he had about 30 subscribers. So if you want to say I'm one of his longest subscribers, you can
Yeah,
say
for sure. I said like early before 50. I almost said before 20, around 25. That's what I remember. But yeah, I think you're right in the 30s. I wish you
yes,
would
it was in
say. I
the
wish you would
30s.
give people numbers of when they subscribed. Like
Yeah, I
one
know.
of such and such. It'd be so cool if they had that kind of feature.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So it was around about 30 subscribers he had, and I watched
he
his
kept me
stuff.
alive all this time since then.
Yeah. But I got him into started shouting him out in my shout outs, weekly shout outs that I used to do, a lot of people, and put him in giveaways and all that sort of stuff, and got him into the Google Hangouts and then the Google Plus groups and all that. And his channels, and I always said to Tony, even back then, I said, one day you're going to make it big. I believe I'm gonna be
Still
biased
waiting
here.
for that day. Still
Look,
waiting. You
look,
need to
I'm gonna
prove yourself right still. It's
yeah,
not
but
happened. You're taking credit too early, my friend.
yeah, but yeah, hang on a minute though. But I'm biased though. You know, I'm going to be biased. I believe I see some people on here. There's another Aussie guy that I don't want to talk about, but he's got how many subscribers has he got now? That bloke up in Sydney, 200,000 is he? So I believe Tony should be having should have by now had over 100,000 subscribers. That's my opinion anyway. But he's good in front of a camera. And back then, I told him one day, you know, he presents well, all that. So I already knew all that sort of stuff. So yeah, so I shouted him out, most of my shout outs and stuff and giveaways and all that sort of stuff. And then he started, you know, doing more videos and everything. And, you know, his channel started to, you know, put him in the groups and people subscribed to him. We did the hangouts and all that sort of stuff.
Like I
So,
tell people, like the first 100, the first 500 are so hard.
yes,
And, once you get over that, people start more subscribing because they realize it's not like, and once you hit 1,000, it felt like it goes a little faster. But
I never.
it's a
I was
weird.
stuck over 1,000 for how many years? Because
Mhm.
I never was click happy on people. You know, the good old clicking on comments and stuff, and click on the
Yeah.
people and go to the. I never did that.
Yeah.
A couple of people, you know, I did, and I became good friends with them and all that sort of stuff. Anyway,
It
so
was
yeah,
so
that's
cool having Google Plus when it was originally connected to YouTube, where the comments were shared between, and that's where so
correct.
much of that worked well. The
Yes,
comments on Google Plus would end up on your YouTube videos, and yeah, everything.
correct.
You'd post to YouTube, and it'd automatically go into some of your groups and all that. It was so cool. And then
Yes,
they started separating them, and then like Google Plus just started to lose momentum, any momentum it had. It was mainly through YouTube that it had momentum, and all
correct.
the people in YouTube used the daylights out of it. Like, I
Yes,
really liked it. It felt a little bit like there was over posting where the same person would post into a bunch of groups and your whole feed would just be scrolling through their self. But that's what Facebook looks like nowadays too. Like when people just log jam all of the groups with their latest video, it ends up kind of doing the same thing in your feed. But it was super fun. So much fun. Some of the best times I had with RC community online was through that platform.
well, I'm not much into the social media side of things. Facebook's just garbage these days. I mean,
Yeah.
you do it because you're in social medias and all that, promote your stuff and
I don't use my
oh,
personal one though.
yeah, yeah, I understand that. But, yeah, I'm not really, even the groups and that, uh, but, where was I? What was I talking about? I can't remember.
We're talking about when you first met and then how things are going and
Yeah, so
Google
we
Plus, all
became,
that. Hangouts.
so we became, close friends on here with Tank and all the other guys, and then we got more guys into the groups and stuff, and, I do see Dave of RC Patrol down there, and, he's right.
Yep.
You know, back in those days, you couldn't really beat those days back then. They were the my if I was to go by years and tell you what my best times on YouTube, whether it was my guitar channel or RC, the best times I had on here was from roughly 2013 until all the changes came, which was around about 2017. That's when everything went upside down on YouTube. I'm not going to get right into that, but when the changes came, I had a lot of friends leave YouTube because they saw what was happening. So you know, we lost a lot of good friends back in those days. But
Yeah.
the Google Hangouts and everything, Google Plus, we met a lot of people. More and more people came in the groups and everything, and we had a bit of fun on there. And that's when the good old days of Tank's GoFundMe came about. Sorry, Tank, I had to throw that in, mate. But shit stir him a bit. But yeah, look, we had fun up there, and you know, it's a shame they took it down, you know, because they separated Google from YouTube. Obviously, that's the whole idea they did it.
Made it a pain to use Google Plus at that point for
Yeah,
YouTube. Yeah.
correct.
It was a super pain. But I'd say, all the things that YouTube's been through, it's still probably my favorite of the platforms right now, like even over Instagram and all that
Which
stuff.
one,
And
sorry? Which one is it?
YouTube. Sorry, I might have said it wrong. YouTube is still probably my favorite with its issues and all that. I mean, the other ones have. I come to it. I'm on my TV. I can watch stuff. I can sit for long form. I'm not. I don't love all this short stuff. It's so just like wait. It's junk. It's junk media. It's just throwaway. You know, it has its 5 second minute of fame and it's gone or whatever. But like where you actually have people in things that you're interested in posting content that you'd have never had TV shows about, or if you did, you'd have to wait for like a once a month type of a thing on a PBS or whatever. Now I can go and watch fishing channels and weekly get new awesome content, and there's hundreds of them, so I can just go, you know, have my favorite one. Same with RC, same with other things where like I actually go to for content over regular TV stuff. And so that's what I do like about it is the people that are putting into creating stuff worth watching. But yeah,
I see your comment down there, Sean.
sure.
I have to
We'll
respect this
rile them
guy.
up. We'll rile
Oh,
them up.
no, 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 no. I'm not gonna rant or anything like that on his channel, mate. So I got to respect his channel.
Did you
So
see Dave? He says Outback Jack still lives. He's in
yeah, I know.
Atlanta.
Yeah, I know. He's still got him. I already knew that. It's all right. You can have him as a souvenir, mate. So yeah, we got the groups together and everything after that, and had a bit of fun. There was a lot of drama back then, obviously. It was
Because Jack
I,
started it all
I copped the brunt of the drama, you know.
with his giveaways.
But I copped the, especially from one particular person who was an absolute psycho. Um, until this day, those videos are still up, Tony. By the way, still to
The
this day,
guy in Canada?
yeah, they're still up the
Oh
videos.
man, that was nutso stuff.
Can't believe that that you. I mean, he didn't mention my channel name. That's why he got away with it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it was a bit of drama going on, and other channels were fighting, going back and forth, and all this sort of stuff. It was on for young and old. You know, back in them days, I've seen some. Darren Dorian is an absolute classic at that. But
Psycho Dirk says, did you
oh
mention Psycho? I'm still here, he says. What did I do?
no, not you, mate. They're more of a more psycho than what you'll ever be, mate. I'll tell
Yeah,
you.
RC Master says short suck.
Yeah, well, a
There's
few of
certain
them.
people that do it well. I never liked I never could get into the TikTok with the dancing or the things that I hate about the shorts are where they just take something that's like really popular and then they just lip it to it. It's like, why do I need to see you doing it? Like whatever, you know, they're just kind of recreating something, but it's them like acting to it. And it's like, what is this? This is the dumbest, like this is like karaoke the video, and like it's so weird. But yeah, I guess I'm just not into the whole pop culture of the narcissism of it is what it is. Like, yeah, I can't get over it. So most shorts I don't like. Some people do things that are super creative in them, and I like that it's a short bit. But for the most part, I want long form content. Kagan
Well,
gave
that's right.
another link there. Your food channel.
It's all good, Kagan. Thanks very much for that. It's all good, mate. But yeah, it's all for the algorithm, really. At the end of the day, when it comes to shorts and longer videos, right? Shorts, you're gonna get views, right? You post up a
Remix kind of thing. Some people do it well, but why? Like, what's the point? It's like, oh, this guy did it, so watch me do it, and then 100 different people do it, and all the feed is just people doing this remix of something. It's such a waste to me.
well, that's what people are doing now. They're doing, they're going into their old videos and remixing and all that sort of
Not
stuff.
that kind of remix. They're remixing some like movie scene or whatever, and they have the audio playing, and they're just. I will say now. I will say the one I do like is the one where it's where'd you get that? They gave it to me. And that one, like there's certain ones where that it does work because it pulls off well of, you know, but most of them because it fits to multiple different things and it makes them different. But there's some where people just act to a scene and they're so ridiculous. But yeah. It's weird. But shorts on YouTube will get you subscribers very fast.
Yeah, but
Subscribers that don't watch your content. So you can get up to
exactly,
150,000 subs now and get less
exactly.
than 1,000 views on your
Yep,
full length videos
yep, it happens to
because
me. I
the
get random
subscribers
calls.
came through shorts. It's weird.
Yeah,
They're making that play button easier to get for people, but the problem is they're going to move the goalposts for those of us that don't and have been working hard to get one because they're giving away too many because of shorts. But that's
well,
the times are changing on that. Instagram has pulled down monetization on a lot of stuff. Like I
right.
can't monetize the videos on there anymore. I don't have any things to allow me to do it. So it's weird. It's all changing. Sorry.
Well,
Back to
that's all right. Well, the shorts thing,
you caused some trouble. You stirred up
with the
trouble.
with the shorts thing, I mean, like on my other channel, I'm getting heaps of subscribers, but you'll never see them again. They just click
Yeah. And they
subscribe.
don't interact a whole lot.
No, I've
Yeah.
got probably about 2 or 3 that subscribed, randoms, and they comment now and again. So, but I don't get. You got to remember one thing as well is YouTube still haven't sorted this situation out. Unless you're a big channel, you don't get notifications for shorts. Still the same thing, right?
Yeah. And you can
Some
really
people,
it's hard to access them too, like the
yes,
respond to comments and all that. But yeah,
correct.
it's a weird thing.
So anyway, yeah, so we go on. What is it? This is your life, or is it that show? But yeah, so anyway, I made a whole heap of. I lost count how many friends I made on here in over the what is it, 15 years I've been on YouTube, whatever it's
Let's count
been.
all the friends you've lost on here.
I've lost a lot of.
I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
I've lost a lot of friends too. Don't worry about that. There's some I still keep in
I
contact
just
on.
love to razz you, man. You know it.
Not going to work. It's your channel. If it
You're
was
being
Tank,
polite.
if it
You're
was
being
Tank,
polite.
yeah, but if it was Tank, different story, mate. I'd be going hammer and tongs. But yeah, Jack was one of my first friends. He has status in my book. Yeah, I was one of. Yeah, that's right. That's going back a long time ago too. I think it was roughly around the same time as Tony. I do believe it might have been a bit earlier. I'm not sure when Tank. Yeah, that's right, Dave. Yeah, something like that. Dave with his. I'm still waiting for my graffiti body, which Dave was supposed to make me, but never happened. Thanks for that, Dave. Yeah, 2014. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, but I've the longest person I've known on YouTube would have been Hands, but he's no longer with us. Is Unlimited Vertical, Johnny out of Canada. He was it was one of my first subscribers back in the day. Well, might as well. You mentioned you still got Outback Jack. What would say? Well, you got Outback Jack still there. Why did you make me a body and send it to me? Could have been a good swap, yeah. No, I'm not going to get into you. You got a good souvenir there, but I feel sorry for the guy that made it. That's what I'm upset about. Anyway, long gone now. You can say what you want, Dave. I'm not going to have a go at you, mate. Not here. So yeah. Anyway, we had, and then me and Tank one day decided. No, sorry, I'll rephrase that. Saddle Rodas, who was one of our great friends who I don't see anymore. I don't know what's happened to the guy. I know he's got health issues and stuff like that, but
He does amazing work.
he's the diorama king, that guy, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know if he's still about. I'm not really sure. I haven't spoken to him for a long. Free Outback.
Yeah, I'm back, Jack. Hashtag.
That's all right. Dave can have a good. That's a good. I tell you what, a good souvenir that Outback Jack. I'll tell you.
See ya, Bubbles RC Shed. Yeah, so back in the day, we haven't talked about that. You did
I'm
2
getting to
world
it.
trips
Yeah, I'm
with
getting to it.
Outback Jack.
Well, Saddle wrote us one day. I spoke to him. I can't remember how it actually came about, but I asked him if he could make me some figure for my truck, my SCX10,
Yep.
and that's how we thought about Crocodile Dundee. You see,
Your
that's
zebra Jeep.
yes, yes. So we wanted to do put a
I
driver
think
in.
that's how I found you in the first place. I think I commented on your stuff first, maybe because I was looking at those Jeeps for a
'Cause
crawler.
you had
I
one.
didn't have one in the beginning, but I think I was looking at them and crawlers in particular. And I think I found you through that and commented. And then I think you came over from there.
Oh, okay. There
Anyway,
you
go
go.
ahead. So he
Got
made you the
better
jack
memory,
for it.
better memory than what I have.
Yeah.
Now, so I spoke with Saddle Rotus and everything, and we come up with this figure, and I can't even remember what the first one looked like. It was that long ago. Anyway, he sent it to me and everything, and I thought, I'm going to put this in my Jeep, obviously, but and then I spoke to Tank one day, and on video call or whatever it was, or it could have been in the Google Hangouts. I'm not sure. Tank might know.
Now
And
he was cut in half and had Velcro to put them back together. Is that how it
correct.
was? So you could
Yes.
stand him outside.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Yep.
Um, well, you had the first one.
Yep. That's what I was trying to remember what it was like. Yeah.
So
I
anyway,
think you told me to do that as well because I ended up cutting the guy that I had in order to do the same thing with my Jeep.
that's right, Kagan. It was the
Seth
action
Rollins.
figure. Yes, the action figure is Kagan's always on the mark, isn't he?
Yep.
Is Seth Rollins scale figure. How big is this thing? 1/10 scale figure. Had to make clothes for the first Outback Jack. No, he didn't. No, it was he just painted the Outback Jack, the first one. So I spoke to Ted. It's kind of boring, really, isn't it? Sound like a parrot. Poor Honey always gets picked on. Yeah, he did, Sean. Yeah, that's for sure. Later down the track when I did the what the F. Sorry, I was going to say that word, but yeah. Anyway, so we decided what are we going to do with this figure because it was kind of funny, and we decided to do a world tour with an action figure and send him around the world. So we did the first Outback Jack World, whatever it was, tour, and so I sent him. I started him off, and I can't remember whether it was Tank. If you had him first, I had a few people in this. I've actually still got all their names and addresses from back then. No, I think the first one was smashed to smithereens in a speed run. That's my opinion. That's what I believe. Was that John? I think his name was John. He's the guy that used to paint. Anyway, so I sent this this action figure around the world. It was, kind of funny and stuff and kind of a bit weird. But, the people that I had lined up to send it to, they couldn't wait to get this figure because I started seeing people making videos. Hey, Troy, how you doing? Started making videos. That was the whole idea, to make a video with the figure and all that. And there was some cracking videos. I mean, I remember Chris Richmond's not here. He used to be part of 0017. He did a fantastic, funny video when he had Outback Jack. And that's right, Kagan. Yeah, that's right. Yep, for sure. And Tony was in the first adventure.
Yep.
And his video was fantastic. That's when Tony blew up, you see, because Tony back in that
Outback
days,
Jack.
Tony got the Star Wars happening, and that's when his channel went bang, right? AT&T and all that sort of stuff. And
We
so
rode the
yeah,
wave.
Yes, so he got a lot of views on those videos that he did. And I remember when you were down at was it at Walmart, was it?
Yeah.
Was it at
Just
Walmart?
with a phone, just saying, "Wow, they've got RC
Yeah,
ones." Yeah. Little
yeah,
drones for your house. Yeah.
yes, correct. But anyway, he went on a world tour. Everyone couldn't wait to get him and all that sort of stuff. And me and Tank, Tank did a mapping of where he was going and who was getting him next. And people were excited to see this figure. Now, if anyone wants to go to Tony's channel and type, have you got Outback Jack in your title when you did the interview?
I think so, yeah.
If you go
Interview
on
with
Tony,
Outback Jack.
yeah, if you go on Tony's channel and go to the search on his videos, just type in Outback Jack and you'll see actually Tony interview the figure with my voice, obviously. It was quite hilarious because I remember Tony looking
It's
at
a
him
lot of
saying,
work.
"Yeah, look at Tony." Actually did that live. I think I can't. Wasn't that on Google Hangouts? We did that. I think.
Yep.
And Tony picked up the figure and goes, "I'm actually talking to an action figure." Remember that?
Yeah, we did your voice to do the interview, but I had 2 cameras rolling,
Two cameras
and
rolling.
then
That's
you interview. No, we didn't. I just took a picture of Jack. So I just did
cool.
a camera of myself. We did an interview, and then we took a picture, and you animated the Jack, and we did it like he was being
Yes,
interviewed,
yes,
something like
correct.
that.
Yeah. So, cut a long story short, the first world tour of it got. I can't remember how many people actually got him. There was a few, but he didn't make it to Europe because he was. Well, there was a lot of speculation what happened to the first one. Was at John's place, I think his name was. I can't remember his channel name. He was a guy that spray painted. Was good at. He used to actually sell the bodies, spray painted bodies, and he did speed runs and all that sort of stuff. And apparently, was lost in post. That's. I mean, look, things like that going to happen. That no matter what.
He
But whether
was
he,
doing some fast speed runs too.
yeah, yeah, he was, yeah. Well, that's what I reckon because he never replied to my emails. Where is he? Blah blah blah. It took him 3 weeks to reply to one that said
And
that
then
he's
he kinda disappeared after that, his speed
he
runs and a lot of it.
he disappeared after Outback Jack got lost. Yes, but look, it's going to happen. It's going to
Yeah.
happen. It's going to happen. But the guys in Europe didn't get a chance. I had a whole stack in Europe waiting to get him. Xavier was jumping out of his skin. I remember that. He couldn't wait to get him. Thorsten as well. So first one was lost. There you go. Kagan's on the ball there, mate. So if you want to see the interview with with an action figure, check it out. There, he's got it there. CCxRC, how you doing? Yeah, there you go. Kagan's put the link down there. He's on the ball. Kagan is a unreal moderator. Bit like Robert, they put the links down there. But that was the interview that Tony did, and Tony done a great video with the Star Wars stuff when Tony got him on the tour thingo. Anyway, he got lost. Saddle Riders was very upset. I mean, I was upset for him because he's the one that created him. You see, so I was upset for him, and he said to me, "I'm going to make another one." I said, "No, no, 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 no. Don't worry. Don't go for it." He was adamant that he had to make another one because you got to remember that guy there was passionate about his work, and he wanted to see Outback Jack again in videos and all that. He loved it, so you know I couldn't say no in the end. So he made Outback Jack number two. Kept him for a while, put him in the truck and all that sort of stuff. Did the animations. That's the next thing was the animations I got onto, which was an absolute fail, as far as
Fail?
I'm concerned. Yeah, well, I believe it was a fail for views. Never took off in the RC. I thought it would because it was something right out of the box, right?
Yep.
So I started doing animations, animating the action figures, and I got more action figures. I bought, I think, Grey Sun. I actually had Kagan in one of the voiceovers in one of them as well. Later down the track, so I did the I've got a list here. So I did the animations, which lucky to get 100 views on them. And
Yeah.
some of them were quite funny, especially when I got Arnie, when I did the WTF series, which people loved. You know, it was funny and all that sort of stuff. I kept knocking him over with trucks and all that sort of stuff, boats. I even knocked him over with a boat. Um, but
What's up,
no,
Shop Mini RC? Real quick, I just want to say to Integrity, awesome comment I saw you post earlier on Instagram. That was super funny, dude. Well played. I think that's the right name for the game, the King of RC game. Sorry, go ahead. You're gonna tell us about your friend with who was that? You used to do a bunch of stuff with the guy, the Dutch RC adventures.
what?
Wasn't that like your buddy?
What? You
No.
you kidding me? You kidding me? He was part of Conchilla's mob. Come on, man.
Oh.
Yeah, keep change the subject, thanks.
Oh. Okay.
Don't even mention that bloke. I did nothing with that guy.
Oh, I thought you guys did with the
No,
planes.
no. Speaking to the wrong person about that one. But yeah, so the animations came along and they were. I did a whole. There's a playlist on my channel if anyone wants to go and have a look. In my old channel, I had more, which I deleted. Um, there's a lot more. Outback Jack number 2. Well, Dave already explained to you in the chat where he is. We still got him after all this time. But I was more concerned about Saddle, obviously, Saddle Rodas, because he was the one that made. So we did another tour. Cut a long story short, I don't know how far he got. He did get to Europe, by the way. I think, yeah, he got to Europe at a couple of places, and
Setarotis has been posting stuff recently. He's got several in the last 2 weeks. There's 4
I haven't seen him for a long time.
FCX24 stuff and WPL, and yeah,
Yeah,
he's got a
Dom, they
bunch
were.
of
Yeah,
stuff that he's posting. He's posting regularly. It's not showing up in my feed for some reason. I need to put the bell on or something
I'll
there
message him. I'll message him one day.
because his stuff
Yeah,
used to pull up all the time. Same with RCHX, right?
all right, Dave. You don't have to rub it in, brother. This is not going to work out well if you keep rubbing it in, mate.
What was Xavier's channel? I'm not. It's not pulling it up.
RCVHX, RCVHX 33 was it? Thanks, Dirk. Yeah, if you want to check out the playlist or whatever, bit
That's
of
not pulling
fun
up.
and a bit of a laugh and
I
all
don't
that.
think it was 33. Huh. I'll have to keep looking.
Yeah, it says no RCVHX 33. Sure, it is. Kagan will know. Kagan's on the ball.
Yeah, it's missing it.
There's a question for you from Troy. I'll be back. Just give me one tick. I've got to just check my phone. It could be my sister because we're going out for dinner later on. I'll be back in a tick. All right. Talk to the people.
Yes, Troy, it should. He's asking about sends me email photos. Yeah, it should. They should come to me if you do a reply on that. Oh yeah, Xavier is heavy into mountain biking these days. There's a lot of people in both worlds, for sure. For sure, for sure. It's been a fun day. I got to drive a monster truck today. We had a blast. It's been busy weekend trying to get everything ready for that last minute. Asked about finding a monster truck, and like 2 days later have one available. It's insane, but it meant I had to get a lot of junk ready. So VH22, thank you, Sean. RC VHX 22. Good old Xavier. See how long ago his posted. But yeah, he was early in the game with us all hangouts and all that 5 months ago ish. And then before that was 11 months and then a year. But yeah, uh, very cool guy. Funny interview action figure. Yeah, I don't even remember what it was all about. So, but yeah, we did. We came up with some fun games. I always watch the drag car videos, and it's even in the racing. They either getting like airborne, but they're like all over the place. And so we thought we'd make it so you had to try to stay straighter by having a monster truck coming the other way. So if the little RC car got out of line and didn't stay in line where it needs to be going, it would get run over by the monster truck that was coming at it. So that was our game. It's gonna be fun. But I'm still halfway into the USTE video, which is a monster video, as far as the scope and size of it. So I'm kind of gonna have to do like late evenings to do like other videos, kind of like I'm doing here. So I got to pick and choose how I do stuff. I'll do my day work, like job work on the USCE stuff, and then packaging. The other thing is you guys blew up my eBay, which is awesome, but eBay's really, the back end is awful for me to have to deal with, but you guys are killing it there. And then the store came back up and people went nuts there. So I think hours tomorrow I'm going to be spending just sitting down here packaging stuff up and try to get stuff right for ones that I already sent out that weren't exactly right. Because
In other
people,
words, you're making a killing, right?
well, I'm making back the money that I spent because I dropped the price of it to nothing basically on the parts. So after eBay takes their 15% and then you pay all the other fees and shipping, and it's just to get rid of it and at least try to recoup what I paid for it. So yeah, just don't want anything to do with it anymore is basically what it comes down to. But yeah, it's going to make me very busy. So, and it's already been busy.
Tony posted the video on his Facebook. Anyone wants to see it?
Yeah, there's a teaser for it. That's not all of it at all. So there's more and lots of angles and slow motions, and it should be
How
fun.
many tries did you take to smash that thing?
Oh, well, we made the gap. So it's like a 13-foot axle or something. And edge to edge, not so wheelbase. The gap we were able to try to get through is probably 8 feet or so. It's wide, man. Like it's impressive. So it's an expensive game, Troy. It's a very expensive game. But we're gonna get some feedback on like, I can't believe that you wasted money and blah blah blah. And any entertainment has costs, and that's what it comes down to. If you're trying to create something, there's cost that goes into creating, and sometimes there's casualties in the cost. So but yeah, it was a ton of fun. Like, man, it was a rush. It was a total rush.
Hey, Jason from RC Recreation.
RC Recreation, what's up? 907 Arctic.
So anyway, the Outback Jack tour is finished. Blah blah blah. Obviously, Dave has already told you that he's still
1 and 2.
Still got number 2. But anyway, saddle riders again. Yeah, upset. This that. Blah blah blah. Same thing. Poor bloke. So he said, "I've got to make another one." I said, no more. That's it. Fine, done and dusted. Nah, adamant. You have to make another one. So, got to remember, he's got to buy these figures to make them. He actually made a video of how he made it.
Yeah, it was really cool.
on that. It was fantastic how he done it.
The amount of work that goes into it's insane.
Insane, yeah. So, Dave, I know you got number 2, mate, but I've got number 3. So he decided that he'll do
Hold on, hold him up. I'm gonna put you full screen.
So there's now, guys, if you have a good look at the face here, who does the face remind you of? Aaron,
Yeah, he does.
DJ Medic.
Yep.
So he decided. Sorry, I got the green screen, but he decided to make the good old the Cobra with the Crocodile Dundee with the croc
Yeah,
teeth,
I
which
like
is,
it.
as you could see.
Yeah.
He gave him a vest. He gave him painted some black shorts. Gave him, look at these are actual boots that he done. Sorry about that. I have to go away a bit.
Just keep it in front of you. It should be fine.
So yeah, so he made he made the leather vest for him. So he wanted to make it like Crocodile Dundee. So this one didn't go on any tours. He also made a just give me one tick because I forgot the rest of the gear. Yeah, one tick.
Have a good night. These old flapping lips. Queenie, what's up? Mag RC, Andrew Magro, what's up? Yes, Dirk just posted the link. Thanks, man.
Bear with
Oh,
me.
he posted the link to the video too, the monster truck video. Dave of RC Patrol. Everything costs. That's life. Yeah. So I'll get a lot of the emails saying that I could have given them to charity and whatever. But I do that with RCs too. There's a camp in Texas I gave some to, and I give them to friends and kids and stuff. Lots of stuff. This was literally just to have fun, straight up fun. With an RC car that I drove 2 times, I think, and then it just sat on a shelf. So it was a fun game to come up with.
So what because Saddle Riders loves my guitar playing and all that sort of stuff.
Two Dads Gaming. I'm doing the refunds as I get to them, as I get to the shipping of them. If I've shipped yours already, then I'll you have to contact me on my page on which orders were yours, because some people didn't add theirs to the cart and do them all as one order. They just hit buy it now, paid for it, buy it now, paid for it. And the way that comes in my back end, I have no idea because I'm just filling orders as what they look like singles. And so I can't even tell that people had multiple orders at that point because they bought them separately. So it shows up as separate orders. It doesn't look like a bulk order. And so I had so many of them where I did like 3 packages for them, but I'd already paid shipping, already packed it. Like it would have been a nightmare to try and find out where they were and whose. So hopefully I'm going to try to figure out a way to figure that out going forward. But eBay's junk for selling stuff. And that's why everyone's like, go to eBay with your stuff when your store's down. I'm like, I don't want to. Sweet as a full cart. You'll be good. Because it'll show up as one order then, and I just easily go in and do a refund on it all. So anyway, back to you, Jack. You're back. Oh, you got a guitar for it.
So he made a guitar because he loved my guitar playing and everything, and he actually put wires there as strings, and the good old whammy bars there. And I did see the comment.
Yeah, because you like your whammy bar. You used it really well.
Where is it? Someone said Stevie Ray Vaughan. And which is because of the hat and everything, Stevie Ray Vaughan. So anyway, that's Outback Jack number 3, and you don't see much of him these days. So
does he come apart to go in your trucks? Thanks,
no.
Kagan. No, okay.
No.
Yeah, he's not Velcro together.
He didn't cut this one, so you can pull it apart. But
yeah, you just pull it apart, then you cut off a little nub that goes in.
Yes.
We'll just be careful there. We'll just end that. We'll stop that where that was going. So, yeah, that way Kagan doesn't have to show restraint. I'll have to show you, Jack. I got a bass guitar recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I went to try to find the Ernie Ball Music Man, and none of the stores sell the Ernie Ball Music Man. They sell the Sterling something Music Man that's out of Indonesia instead. So you have to like direct order the Ernie Ball one from them, because I don't think people were buying them because they were so expensive. So most of the shops buy the Sterling ones, which are more like from $300 to $1,000. But still the same as the one I got. Is the same as the Ernie Ball one in 2015,
Yeah,
and I love it.
I don't mind anything made out of Indonesia or Korea, especially Korea, but they don't make, I think, quartz out of Korea, but China, no.
Yeah,
Indonesia, yep, no
the
worries.
Japan ones are good too.
Japan, yeah,
I had a Stratocaster out of Japan,
yeah,
and it was really
yes,
good.
yes. They're just as good as as the American.
Yeah, now I wish I still had it because it's worth some money.
Exactly right. You know
But
what year it was? The late 80s?
it was late 80s. Yeah, I got it
Yes.
used in the 90s. So I think it was like an 88.
They're worth a lot of money if you got ones
Yeah,
from the 80s. Yeah.
just straight up simple black and white. Yeah, it
Yep.
was beautiful. But yeah, all right. So
Animation.
let's move to what you're doing. So you went from FPV vids. You started doing the Jack tour, a lot of the Jack and crawling,
Well, I did. That's when
and
I
you went
started.
cinematic, is what you did.
Yes, I took a
You went
leaf
from
out.
FPV little videos to cinematic stuff.
Well, I took a leaf out of your book, didn't I? You're a professional photographer, aren't you?
Yeah.
But I started these animation videos, which never took off. They did put the playlist down in the chat if anyone wants to go and have a look.
Okay.
Um, there's a playlist
Took
that.
a lot of work for you too, like for the amount of
Well,
time you had to put
well,
into it.
well, that's the problem. Where I never got many views, and the amount of hours I put in for the, like, say, lining up the face and all that sort of stuff, and to sync it all up and
Making
that.
the mouth move so it looked like
Yeah,
you're saying
yeah,
what you were saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The eyes are opening and closing, the mouth, and all that sort of stuff. So I did that for a while, and like I said, I never got really much. I thought it might have took off because it was something a lot different in RC,
Yeah.
but I'm a small channel, so it never really did take off. I shared it everywhere and all that sort of stuff. But
But it's things like that, like the little gimmicky things that can go crazy.
of
Like
course
the
they
little
can.
Chucky guy driving on the X Max on the top of, they make it look like a four-wheeler with like the Chucky kid as a
Yes,
doll riding around on it.
yes,
Like that
correct.
thing goes nuts when people post that type of stuff.
Yes.
So
So I tried to, try to do stuff. I did stories and stuff. I had Kagan, like I said, I had Kagan in one of my videos as a voiceover for Grayson, and but never ever. And then I had Outback. Sorry, I got to go back. Subtle Riders also made Outback Jackie, which
yeah.
you probably remember. And I had a couple of voiceovers from someone in one of my videos. So yeah, and then the Predator, Arnie came along, then the Predator came along, and I started doing.
Yep.
There was one video I did with when I had the racing quad back then, where I put Predator on it and
On
flew him
top
up.
it, yeah.
Yeah, and had the background all kind of what do you call that?
Bokeh, like just super blurred
No,
out.
I had the background as an orange color that was like apocalyptic sort of thing.
Oh,
So I did a story with that. That took me 2 weeks to make that video with the Predator.
yep.
Took me 2 weeks to make with Arnie and the Predator. So I kind of had the voiceovers from Arnie put into the animation from the movie The Predator 2.
Yep.
I got the I forget his name, the Aussie guy helped me with it as well.
Irwin, Steve, the
No. Guy had a YouTube channel. I forget his name. Jolliest Vidius,
oh yeah, Jollies, yeah.
who you remember, yeah, who's done fantastic videos, and he helped me with a couple of the predator movements and stuff. And yeah, I did, Jason. I saw that just before we came on air. I saw your short, your sticker flick off. I saw that. Yeah. So yeah, well, it took me 2 weeks to make this movie and or this video, and like I said, hardly any views on it. I mean, what was the title I was going to do and all that. It was too much. So the editing was too much. Um, Dad's gaming, Mikey. Oh, that was long. It was a long time ago now when I was doing a whole heap of them. I'd started
Yep.
a series with Arnold Schwarzenegger figure, which was called WTF, which people loved that.
Yep.
Me kept knocking him over and all that sort of stuff. And what the F? That's out of actual Total Recall, I think it was that what the F I got there, the voiceover. And hey, Mateus RC, how you doing, mate?
Yep. See you,
And
Nick. Nick B.
see you, Nick. Good to see you, mate. And yeah, look, it was a lot of work. But yeah. Look, man, I got Tony, I got Tank, I got a whole heap of people that shared it out and all that sort of stuff, but never really took off. And it's just one of those things.
And so the thing, and you taught me this too, was with the video too. Like, so I was doing a lot of stuff where I'd put in a lot of time, and there wasn't the payoff you'd hope for the amount of time you put in. And you actually kind of talked me into doing stuff that was a little more simplistic, as far as not being so. Because I was trying to make what would be like corporate video, like advertising type. It was just like cinematic and no talking and just music and like,
They're your best videos, mate. That's my opinion. But
yeah, but nobody watched them. The ones
nobody
where it's
they
talking to
want
people.
yes,
Yeah.
correct. They wanted you to show your RC, talk about it. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But
As you're driving, give people the experience of what you're doing and feeling. And yeah, that way
but
they're
the
coming to
cinematic
learn
work that you
something.
do,
Yeah.
the cinematic and slow motion and all that, I'm there every day of the week.
Yeah.
But editing, as you know, even for a short video like that, it
Yeah.
takes like 5 seconds.
It
It's a lot
came
of
down
work.
to you can't do it for everyone if you want to
No,
keep up with the demand of doing YouTube.
correct.
You have to find ways to simplify it if you're going to do multiple
Correct.
videos in a week. Yeah.
Well, when I did my cinematic stuff, when it was like, I mean, I had Kagan live once when I was doing. I had him on my phone, and we had a video call and stuff like that, and I was out on the rocks and stuff, and I was exchanging ideas and stuff like that, and it was like a day job. By the time I finished going out there filming, and I could take 20, 30 different shots, because I stop and start, recording, and did individual cuts. Then I can delete what I don't want. Um, it was by the time I got home and everything, and the longest time I edited was close to 7 hours on a video.
Hmm.
That's with breaks, but roughly around 7 hours, and it was just not worth it.
Right.
I was not monetized or anything like that. Everything was coming out of my pocket, especially back in the old days when I did all the giveaways and that. Everything was coming out of my pocket.
Right.
you know,
And it's
and-
tough.
yes, not sustainable, especially when you are working alone. But yeah, it just got too much. It was tiring. It was this. It was that, and I had to think of other kind of ideas of what to do and all that sort of stuff, and packed my cameras away and thought it's not worth it really.
Yeah.
And some of my action ones, if you have a look at some of my action ones where I'm doing the cinematic, but they're not just crawling, but the action ones and stuff are not too bad. Yeah, that's right. Oh man, there's a lot of work in the editing. Yeah, it's just too much. Got too much. It was just too tiring. I know what fat and all that sort of stuff do that sort of stuff, but they got the numbers, they got subscribers, they get the views. You know,
Yeah.
my videos was just as good as with fat. I know he used mirrorless cameras, but mine were just as good as his. You know, but
Yeah. You had really
nothing.
pretty shots. You definitely were going for making it look more realistic and
Well, you saw
bigger. Yeah.
you're the only one that commented on my recent shorts that I uploaded, and you know yourself because you're a photographer and videographer and all that. You saw how real I tried to make that look. The communication struck one that I did recently.
Yep.
I tried to make that. That's obviously a remix off an
Make it
old
look
video.
bigger. Yep.
Yeah. So that's just the shorts I took off an old video, and I could do a whole heap like that, but for the normal long videos, I never like I can't even. The highest hitting video I got on this channel is like 6,000. That's on a rally car.
Hmm.
No, sorry, yeah, rally car and my Tamiya, what do you call it? Beetle. I think 6,000 on one and about 4,000 on the other.
Okay.
And they've been up there for a long time, as you know. Yeah, you walk around, Mr. Crunch, in Alaska there on the snow. You walk around with your phone there, mate, and and just film whatever. And then when your RC flips, takes you 5 minutes to go and get it. That's what you've got to edit out.
Yeah.
That's just a
Try to
waste of
just cut those little bits out.
yeah, that's a waste of footage. Yeah, yeah, the Blitzer Beetle. That's right, Dirk. The Blitzer Beetle that I did a couple of videos with that, and they got me all right views and that. But yeah, with the animations and all that, forget about it.
G Carter wants to see your microwave pizza that you're doing for your channel today. And he says if it wasn't for him, your channel wouldn't be alive.
Who's G Carter?
I don't know. I don't know. I thought you knew.
I don't know.
Somebody in on the joke, though.
Hang on, is that Kurt in disguise? Is it?
I don't know.
No, I don't, Robert. I don't. I can hear the crunch when you walk. What I don't like when you go 5 minutes to pick up your RC and flip it over. It's dead footage,
And
brother.
he's not afraid to tell you about it.
Yeah, my microwave pizzas, I'll tell you what, they're the best pizzas you'll ever have. Straight out of the freezer, straight into the microwave. Beautiful. I have no idea who this G Carter is, but they certainly know about me somehow. I did a compilation pizza video yesterday. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, just some pizzas that I made in the past. I actually had a request from one of the girls over there for a ham and pineapple pizza. So they got me like 2,000 views or something around there. They wanted a whole heap of pineapple on a pizza. Pineapple should never see a pizza. I think
I
that's the
agree.
title I gave it. Should never see a pizza. My dog was, tell you what, my dog had a feast that night.
On the
Yeah,
pizza?
so,
Because you wouldn't eat it?
no, I had some. I just took the pineapple off and gave the rest to him. It was only a small one. It's not big.
Okay.
He loved it. So animations, best, like I said, best times on here, 2013, 17. Around that time was the best I had fun on, apart from the drama, YouTube, Google Plus, blah blah blah. Other than that, that's about it really. Giveaways, shout outs, I did every week. Giveaways not every week, but shout outs and everything. I got a lot of channels together. I helped a lot of people out, especially with editing. There are people that always came to me and asked me to edit their videos and all that sort of stuff. So I was always there to help people. Yeah, Hawaiian pizza, that's the one. It's a bomb, is it?
I disagree. Completely disagree.
Ah, Dominic, come on, brother. Doesn't live on a pizza, mate. Don't like it. I don't know, just don't like it. But hey, each to their own. But yeah, so I've got a lot of people together. I helped a lot of people, like I said. I was happy to help out here and there with certain people. The days I did the giveaways, that's the days when YouTube had their own messaging thing where they had a tab and you click it, you can direct message people. Remember that, Tony? The good old
Yep.
inbox thing. And when I was
Yep.
doing giveaways, I had that many messages banked up of people asking me to give them stuff. So if you ever do giveaways, just I told a lot of people just be careful when you do giveaways because you're going to get lot of going to be a lot of jealousy and all that, and going to get
Yep.
people hitting you up to give them free stuff.
It happens.
Mel says pineapple totally belongs on a pizza. Unbelievable how many people are saying yes.
Nope.
No,
You're wrong.
not for me.
I disagree.
So that's just about, and then that's just about it, really. I can't really. I did see Sean's comment earlier on. I don't know if you're still here, saying how calm I am and all that. Well, like I said, I got to respect this guy's channel. So but that's just about it, really. If there's anything anyone wants to ask, they can ask. Or
What do you
what's this? Fair enough. If you don't like it,
what do you have for plans for anything new?
me.
Yeah.
Well, we're into it, just about into it. It's freezing these days now, so we're practically into winter now. Even though it's autumn, fall over there. It's been raining for the last 3 days here, so I don't. Yeah, I will mention something.
Now that
Sorry.
you've moved though, are there places that you wanna
There's heaps of places around here I can go, but I always sort of want to go back to my old stomping ground. Sometimes,
Yeah.
especially down by the trail down there, by the Kangaroo Trail.
Okay.
It's awesome down there. I do want to say one thing before anyone wants to ask anything, but the lockdown was the worst. It probably changed my.
Oh yeah.
We were the lockdown city of the world. 20 months. We were like in jail. Blah 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 blah. And I was doing RC videos in the driveway on ramps and all that sort of stuff, and uh, that kind of changed my perspective on RC sort of thing because I just lost so much interest in
Yeah.
that time. My brain wasn't, as you're well aware, in lockdown. My brain was completely scrambled. Jail for 20 months or whatever it was, curfews, all that garbage.
Yeah, you guys had it
Yeah.
real bad there.
We had it real bad here, and
Yeah.
so I that's why I came out one day and said I'm retiring from RC. I think it was on one of the panels. Can't remember whose panel it was. It was on a live stream. I said, "That's it for me. I've just lost complete interest. Been around a long time, but even my guitar stuff, I was doing mainly more guitar stuff than anything else when I was in lockdown. I was doing lockdown jams, if you want to call it that. Um, For those that don't know down there, I've been a guitarist for over 40 years. Tony's also been in bands as
He's
well.
been okay. He's been okay at it for a little
So,
while.
did you see my new one where I got your shirt on? Don't get too cheeky. How many shout outs they want me to do with that shirt?
No
And
more golf ones.
don't worry, oh mate, I tell you what, that was hilarious, mate. I don't know what made me do that. I thought, hey, hang on, I've got his gear on here. What's
How long were you a chef? Dominic wants to know.
uh just over 36 years? Most of my life, put it that way. Which
Nice.
cost my health, by the way. I'll just throw that in there. That actually cost my health. So, yeah, I've been retired a long time now. I'm just an average chef. Microwave chef, as Kurt would say. On the microwave, mate. Who is Jack's favourite
I'm an air
all-time
fry
performer?
chef.
You like your air fryer, mate.
Yeah.
Good, but tell you what, cut up some potato, good old Yukon Golds, mate, and cut them up, put some seasoning on them, chuck 'em in there. Here's my all-time favorite band style of music, and that's a tough one. There's been a lot of bands that heaps of bands that I've seen live. I can go through guitarists. One of my all-time favorites, as you'd probably already know, Dirk, is David Gilmour. Then I
Yep.
go to the Shredders, Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix. You can't,
All guitar based.
yes,
They don't
yeah.
do solos anymore. They don't even do
No,
90s little riffs
no,
anymore.
no, no, no. Music is not music anymore. So Steve Vai, Joe Satriani. I like Steve Vai better than Satch, even though Satch taught Steve Vai. I've seen them both live. There's a whole heap of bands I've seen. The heavier bands and all that. I mean, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. If I want to go back to the old school,
Yep.
Metallica, Pantera, some of the older heavy stuff.
Yep.
Queensryche, they're a great band to see live. There's a whole heap. I can't. It's a hard question. Best solo of all time, no doubt, in my opinion, is comfortably numb. I mean, that's just an absolute. You say about a solo like that, in a song that is, but
Yeah.
in a song for sure, no doubt about it. But it's very very hard to point out your favorite band. I mean, I did do a lot of U2 covers on my old channel. The shitload that I did, and most of them are copyrighted anyway. So there was a lot of that stuff. U2. I love the Edge because of his unique sound. So,
It's very unique. So cool.
well, Van Halen came out one day and said he was his favorite guitarist. Funny enough,
He's just creative.
it's because of his dotted eighth and quarter note delays. That's what it is.
His delay work is insane.
It's insane. Yes.
Yeah.
Look. It sounds like a simple sound, when you got the Fender going, the twangy sound. Have I got my pick here? This is called a Herdem pick. Sorry, it's a bit dirty. The Edge, when he plays guitar, he doesn't use it like this. He uses it upside down because it's got dimples on it and get the click. That's what makes that click, right? With his
Huh.
delay. So it's an upside down. You got to get these out of Germany, these picks. So that's what he uses.
It's got that little lip on it to make it so your hand
No,
grips onto it.
it's got dimples on it for the grip.
Yeah,
And
so you
that's
can hold it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what grips onto the string and makes the click. So that's the way he did his, and it's a simple sound that he's got, but it's hard to get, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I tried to get his sound so close for years and years, but I did get it close one time, but yeah, it's very, very hard. Yeah, there's a
Matthias
lot of
RC,
bands.
you're
Sorry,
right.
there's a lot of bands. I mean, I can't, Led Zeppelin. There's a whole heap of them, man. It's endless, really. Endless. One of the best bands I've seen live, apart from Midnight Oil, which is the most insane show you'll ever go to. One of the best live bands you'll ever see. You guys probably see it there, because Aussie band. But one of the best bands I've seen live is The Prodigy.
Oh yeah.
Insane shows, The Prodigy. Unbelievable.
I just bought tickets to NF. He's coming through. It's like a rap guy my kids really like.
Yep.
So I'm gonna take him to see that.
Yeah, there's a whole heap, Dirk. As you know, it's hard to there's a few.
So what are you doing now? So you're doing your guitar channel still? No, you said you weren't. Not really, but you were posting some videos I just saw because you just posted a guitar video.
They're old though. All the ones that I'm doing. The one you saw with your shirt, that's like 2 years old,
Okay.
right? So I'm doing rewinds more. So because recording doesn't take 5 minutes, as you know, it take me a whole night.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm uploading a lot of rewinds here and there. Some shorts I'm doing, just don't have to edit anything.
Yeah.
Some of them I get views, some of them I don't.
But is it to the guitar channel? Is that where I saw it on, or was it on your?
It was on my food channel.
It's on the food channel. Okay.
Yeah, Tank.
Just say I haven't seen your guitar channel in a while, so it must have been
No,
the
no,
food
I'm not.
channel.
I'm not uploading much over there. No.
Okay.
But on my, that's why I changed my name on my food, Jack's Food and Music. So music and food goes hand in hand. So
Yeah. It was super
work.
calming for me that day. That's when all the crap was hitting
Yeah,
the fan, man.
yeah, I saw that comment there. Yeah.
Go to a
Okay.
Guar concert. RC Recreation says wear a raincoat.
Yeah, raincoat. Yeah, but look, like the guitar stuff, same sort of deal with that. Not as much with the RC, but you kind of lose. I lost a lot of interest, when the lockdown happened. Well, I'm not the only one. There's other people, different hobbies, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It was just too much of a down. It was a more than 1,000 downer. You know what I mean? It was just
Yeah.
too much.
So if I pull up my YouTube right now, the videos that show up on mine are guitar teacher reacting to somebody, people reacting to NF stuff. There's a bike guy. There's another guy that's live. Jason's RC is live right now. But there's a lot of like bass guitar stuff, like bass guitar tutorials and lessons. I play guitar. I mean, I play guitar, so I know where the notes are and I know certain,
Yeah,
scales and all that, but I'm trying to learn how to make that work for bass, especially the timing of it all, because I get
yes.
kind of bored.
You have to do a
um,
collaboration, eh?
with it, just like, like, so, and I know you can't do licks all the time because it just makes it too muddy,
Yep.
but I'm trying to find out how to and when to really use them, and yeah, different
Are you
timings on them and all that.
like
So yeah,
but
but
you're
that's what a lot of my feed is. There's a few I see like John Holmes. There's hockey replays. So it's weird because my algorithm isn't even throwing that much to me. Here's Exo Cage with 2 Raminators, Kurt Cobain, history of the unplugged guitar, his unplugged guitar. So
So what made you get into the bass? Because I know you're a guitarist, but what made you go to bass?
because at the church I go to, there's nobody that plays bass really.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And
Yeah,
the
that's
guy
all.
there's leading from guitar. So I haven't played in other church bands, and they'll lead from piano or something. And then it makes sense to have me play acoustic along with them. But when they're leading from an acoustic every week, it doesn't make sense to be another acoustic. So being a bass made sense. So I've always wanted that bass. My favorite band, which you would never have heard of, is a punk band called MXPX, and they've been around for a long time now, over 25 years. But that's what he played, was the Ernie Ball Music Man. In fact, he has a signature one of his own now.
Yeah,
But
they're
he
not
actually
cheap, man. They're not cheap, man.
no, in his though, it's even funnier because the whole, some of it's all the electronics and all the knobs. Well, on his, none of those even work. They're just the look, because he actually, on his personal one, just direct wires his pickup to the jack. And
Really?
so, yeah, he just bypasses it all. It's just straight tone. He does everything with the amp. That way you don't have to worry about all the 9 volts or things getting messed up when you're traveling and your knobs being off. He just bypasses it all, so it's always the same every show and doesn't have like a problem. So, but it's a, $2,500, $2,700 bass if you get that one. But yeah.
Yeah,
So I still,
well,
now that I do shipping, it's great because when I edit video, I haven't been a music guy forever because you always have audio that you have to be listening to and timing stuff and finding story. So you can't have music playing. Now I love it when I get to go over and package and work on all the stuff for the shipping, and which is like, there's no thought into it really. But I just play music. I just have my Alexa just play, and it's every time I just tell her to play MXPX. That way I don't have to think about what I want. So every day I jam out to my old favorite group, like songs from high school and college and all that. And yeah,
Well, speaking of like punk music, I can go way back to Sex Pistols. But
yeah,
a band that was an influence on,
they're good.
well, actually, with the singer when I was a teen, I actually got the same hairstyle as him. Was Joey Strummer, right?
Okay.
Out of the Clash,
Yep, the
who passed
Clash.
away. Yeah, who passed away a few years ago. Joey Strummer, who was the singer. That's when I started shaving the sides of my hair here,
Yep.
sides of my head, because Joey had one side shaved and one side wasn't. It was short, but not shaved, and he had that rocker kind of look. And he
Yep.
was a huge influence on me when I was a teen. When I saw the Clash,
Yep.
and that the Clash were I think they came around from 1976, I do believe,
Yep.
and
About
they were
10 years. They had about a 10-year run.
yes, correct.
Yep.
But they were like especially Joey Strummer, but he was big influence when I was a teenager. And you're right about that, Jason Primus for bass lines. Yep.
Yeah, Primus is really good. So I'm
Oh yeah.
trying not to get into anything because it's just going to make me get discouraged if it's too hard at the beginning or just learn bad technique. So I'm trying to start slower, get the technique and stuff down, and then move up
What
so I
amp
can
did you
try
get?
and get it
What amp
right.
did you get? What are you using as an amp?
Yes, I did. I got a 15-inch.
You got a head and a separate cabinet or
No.
one combo?
Yeah, it's a decent. Why can't I
Yeah,
think of the name of
it's a
it?
bit tricky when it
Cool.
comes to bass amps.
Starts like a GK. Is that it?
Okay. Yeah. Sounds. I think
But Galleon Kruger. I couldn't think of what the G
no,
stood for.
Gallien Kruger. That's old, mate. That's old school.
Yeah,
Gallien Kruger.
they still have them.
Yeah,
It's a
they
15-inch. Yep.
look after Outback Jack number 2, brother.
Haha. See, man. Yeah. So it's a Galleon Kruger. It
Yeah,
sounds really good.
yeah, the Gallien Krugers. That I remember back in the old days. I'm going back even towards the late '80s. They had the old Gallien Kruger small heads. If you remember
Yep.
those.
For me, it was either going to be that or an Ampeg. Would have been
Yep.
the other
Oh,
one if I could have gotten
Ampeg.
an Ampeg. Like those
Oh,
are my
man.
two bass tones I liked. Most of the guys
Hey,
I knew were running
Ras,
one of the other.
Outpost, Ras, how you doing over there? But yeah, the Ampegs are one of the most popular
So
basses.
I now have I jumped all in, Jack. I went straight in.
You what?
So I got a line 6 pedal.
Yeah, pedal board.
But I didn't get the big one. Like they've got the like $1,600 ones or whatever.
Well, I had the
I
Line
didn't get
6
that.
M13 for years, which was an absolute beast, and they're still selling. I bought that in 2013. They're still selling for $1,000 these days. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So they've got the Stomp, which is a little 3-button one.
Yes.
But I got the Stomp XL, which is considerably more
Yep.
options. And it uses a lot of that same kind
Do
of
a lot.
presets that they use in their
Yeah,
better, like the
yeah.
HX series.
Yeah, you can do it.
So
Yeah, exactly. That's
yeah,
great.
and it
When
can
we're doing,
simulate bass amps and all that. So that's why I got
yes.
the Line 6.
Yep.
So yeah, but it's
So
been awesome and fun.
when are we doing a collab?
A what?
A collab.
Oh, collab. We'll have to.
Yeah. Yeah. You
I was
bet.
thinking earlier when you're talking about this stuff,
Yeah.
I'm like, we should do a old school internet thing like we used to with the RC, but do it with the guitars.
Yeah, if you want to. I've done
So,
heaps of collabs over the years, as you know.
but
Different
yeah.
people. But
Anyway, we should get ready to wrap up here soon. We're going
yeah.
on 2 hours,
Yep.
and I've
No
got to
worries.
get up early tomorrow. But this has
No
been
worries at all.
awesome hearing
Yeah.
how you got into it all.
Thank you very much. I hope I didn't bore too many people, but
It's history, man. It's all. I think it's cool to find out what people got them into
Well,
RC and
I've
what their
gone back
RC history along the way was, because it's all changed so much and it changes so rapidly. And it also shows just how your interests change, right? So people are
yes,
like getting on me about driving the little ones, but this happens through anybody's time in a hobby. You go through different periods. So, it's a period we're in right now. The monster trucks are still here. We're still doing them. In fact, I gotta hopefully tomorrow do a monster truck little thing for my Tuesday night show. I have to have a we're going to compete against each other, and so I have to get a rundown. So it's been a tough
is
week. I haven't done it, but
is Vas you still here in the background anyway? Is the Aussie RC Playground, is he still in the background?
I haven't seen him posting in here, so I don't know if he's off doing something or what. We've been going for a while now.
I've gotta check out his boat video, 150
Oh yeah, you need to check that out. I need to finish watching it. I hit the watch later button before I checked out, so it should be in my list.
Mag RC, thank you very much, yeah. Oh, I was never I just changed my name in the last, I don't know when, Outback Jack RC. Just thought it was appropriate.
Yeah, makes
Um,
it easy for me to find you too, so I like it.
yeah, so people like the name, so obviously, but I'm not very active, like I said, there's channels that I haven't gone to and stuff like that. I'm more concentrating on my food channel. So
You know what we didn't talk about and we should hit on really quick was one of the cool things that you were doing that nobody else was doing. And that was the rig that you put on the long pole and you were driving your on-road cars and it would swing around your car as you would
oh
drive.
oh
That
yeah,
was super cool. That's when you had the Mobius on that too, right?
correct. I had the Mobius on that, and I had the GoPro on that, and I was the first person to do the swivel mount.
Yeah. On top of the car. And so as he'd go, it would spin around his car, but you wouldn't see the arm. It was just like this really cool. It's before people started doing it with the now we have the what do we call them? The Insta 360s and all that do
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. You can get a kind of a weird effect like that. You were doing it before that was a thing.
Well, I back in that's why I'm saying they were the good years for me. But back in those days, I was doing every camera angle you can think of. I did. That's where the Mobius was fantastic because it was light, it was small, you can plant it anywhere. I did the good old chassis underneath, the
Yeah.
chassis pointing at the wheel and the suspension and all that sort of stuff. I had that many different mounts that I mounted onto the RCs. I had different ways of doing it. Yeah, we didn't touch on my GV series, I understand, but that's okay. My Holden cars, the effigy
Yep.
and all
Those
that.
are awesome.
But yeah, I did all these mounts that I was just experimenting with, and I can't remember if I got a lot of views on those swivel mount. I think I did on one of them, but it was like 40 something thousand.
Yeah. It
That
was
was my old,
super
that was
cool.
my
Super trick is what it was. It was when it would start
yeah.
whipping around. It was super trick.
Well, all you needed was just a caster wheel off, just buy it at the hardware store or something like that. Get yourself some PVC piping, get a bracket so you can mount the wheel, the base of the wheel. Obviously,
Yeah.
take the wheel off, mount it onto the pole, couple of screws, make sure the ball bearings are all good when you swivels. I greased it up a bit with the ball bearings just to make it go a bit looser and stuff. I can show. I can. There is a video, a really short video that I did. I think it was like what was it, 6,000 frames. There was a lot of things we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
Back in the slow motion, quickly, I was a slow motion king back in those days as well.
Yeah. You love the slow mo.
I can show you a video quickly.
And
Just give
anytime I
me.
would put slow mo in my title, you were there.
I was there.
You love slow
I
motion.
was. I was. There, I was there that fast. I just loved it. There was an old saying: everything looks better in slow motion.
Sure does.
The only problem was there was, if I did like drifts or something like that, people wanted to hear the motor. They didn't want they
Yeah.
didn't want it in slow motion or music or anything. Just give me one tick. There is a video that I did, if I can find it. Uh, just trying to find it. Just bear with me. Why isn't it coming up? Uh, it's a Traxxas, by the way. But, I'm not going to find it. Yeah, but back in those days, I used to use a program. Tony knows a program. I used to use Twixtor back in them days where you can.
Oh, you'd make it go really slow.
I
Yeah.
used to make it go really go speed up and then go slow and all that. I had to convert the actual how many frames per second. I had to convert that, but I think the highest I got was a 6,000 frames per second. Anything over that was just no good.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if I can find that. It's just a very, very short video.
Yeah,
I can
RC
play.
Master says even rubbish friction spring shocks look good in slow motion. That's true. That's why if you're just doing trailing videos, especially with the micros, it looks way better in slow motion. So drive a little bit faster and
Yeah.
just slow motion it out, and then all the movements just look that much more realistic. But if you drive slow and then you slow motion it, it's such a crawl that it's like, ugh, you don't get anywhere. So you got to
All right.
find that balance.
I'm going to share this. You can actually see the poll in this. It doesn't really matter. I'll share this just with you guys just to have a look what I used to do back in the day. This is 2015. Back in 2015, that's my good old. I'll always swear by this rig, good old Slash. If anyone wants to buy a rig, well, that's the one to go for, or the Summit.
Debatable.
Debatable, yes, but to me, the Slash is probably the most reliable I've ever had, really. So yeah, so this was my. I was doing a lot of super slow motions even back then. That's why it's got 2015. It's a short, sorry, it's not widescreen. I've tried to blow it up a bit more. Just so this is what I did. No sound, as you can see. It wasn't perfect, but that's a slow. I think that was. I can't remember the frame rate on that. That was a long time ago. And this, there's a bit of glitching there, but hey, it kind of worked. So that's what I used to do.
Yeah, back before
Um,
they have all the new slow-mo options and stuff now. That
yes,
helps. That was back in the day.
yes, correct.
Way
Where
smoother because everybody was just trying to slow motion footage that wasn't shot for slow motion, and it just looked really, uh,
grainy and
the
stuff.
frame it looked
And
weird, and that program made it look at least crisp
well,
as it
that
would do it.
program was used by a lot of gamers.
Yeah,
But that there, you can see it's all. I had to fiddle around with it to get it so smooth. But if you did slow mo back in those days, it was just the frame rate would just jerk and all that sort of stuff, and it'd be just too grainy. I tried it even on the phones, and that it wasn't very good. So that's the one I came up with, and everything like that. And once again, I didn't get many views, which was surprising. I didn't get many views on those videos. You know.
yeah, it's way different. It's totally true.
Well, well, I tried. I tried to be. I tried to always be out of the box sort of thing. You know, try to do different things away from what people were walking around shooting the. I had channels where they walk around with their cameras or and filming the ground. They got more views than me. So they were filming the ground more than their RC, and they got more views. Which
Right.
I couldn't be. I couldn't work. Life of me, I couldn't work it out. But yeah, so I came up with all these different camera mounts and angles, and you know, then I got into the. I used to hate trail trucks and crawling and all. I used to hate all that until I got the SCX10. It was built for me, out of Canada. So yeah. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
my life. There's more I can talk about. I mean, I did bring up the GV cars where I would have actually brought some out and showed people. Maybe another time, but I know Tank loves the VS Ute with the motor hanging out of it. The regrettable sale that was, I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I did tell people I
You
might
did
be.
that one trade too with the guy for the yellow. What was that? Didn't you trade a guy in England, UK for,
Oh, don't mention that. That was a disaster.
and you got like a, it
I
was
got an
not what
RS.
you thought
I
it
got an
was.
RS. Yeah, I wanted the RS 1800 Escort, the Ford Escort, and this guy knew how to paint, but he did a shifty on me and used paint that just flaked off. While he got an effigy body from me, right, which cost me a bit to send, and he put it on one of his chassis and drove it into a lake on purpose. I remember that very, very clearly indeed. Absolutely destroyed that effigy body, which is a collector's item to these days. If you give me one tick, I don't know how many people have you got watching here. You got 41 people. I can show you one of my GV cars if that's all right.
Yep.
I won't be long.
So we're gonna wrap here soon, guys. After we see this, it's getting late for me, but these things are really cool cars. Some of my favorites that he had on his channel for sure, and it'll be cool to see. So, that I always said, if he's getting rid of it, you got to contact me first. I know shipping will kill me, but I wanted to get my hands on one because we couldn't get him here. All right, here he comes back. There it is. That's the car.
No, I haven't got the original wheels on this. I've got the actual A9X wheels on this. Dom would probably know the Bathurst wheels. The
Is it
usual
kind of like a
ones.
purplish color, right? Like a dark
Well,
eggplantish,
well,
or is it black?
the 1-to-1 scale is kind of a glossy maroon color, if you want to say. But this is kind of like an eggplant color.
Yeah, eggplantish. Yeah.
So this was based off the old FJ Holdens here in Australia. That's how they made it. It's a concept car that they made. I think they made about, I think it was about 300 of them, I do believe, and they're over like $1.2 million
To
for
get one, to
one-to-one
buy one.
scale. Yeah,
Wow.
for the one-to-one scale. But that's yeah, the green screen stuffing it up. But that's
The shape on it's so cool.
yeah, yeah, for sure. It's a gangster car.
Yep.
That's how Chris Richmond always said it was a gangster car.
Yeah.
But that's these are actually Australia made. Right,
Yeah.
these are not out of China. And the chassis obviously is got a brushless system in it. It's
Yeah. A
got
lot
the good
packed in
old,
there. ESS1 sound system.
yeah, the first one that came out, which I got for free. I bought off Team Associated, which ripped me off. Then that buggered up, and I contacted Sense. Then they sent me another one, and I got the other one working, so I had two. But that's the old one. That's the first one that came out. The
Nice.
S1, the S1. So that's basic touring car chassis.
That's
I think
so
it's
cool.
260 the, the wheelbase. I think that's
You're
just
not
one of
tripping
my.
out, guys. Green screen.
That's that. So that's one of my. I can't take the green screen off.
No, they're
I
saying it's
think
glitching. I said, no, it's the green screen.
it's a green screen.
Yeah.
I'll just see if I can take it off. Just 1 minute, guys. Sorry.
It's getting the reflections on it. Just tripping it out.
Is that a little bit better?
Yeah.
There's pretty good detail, really, of the way they did it, especially the chrome bumper there, the grill.
Yeah.
Obviously, at the back, and they got the old. That's how the FJs had it. They had one tail light, and the blinkers were there, but they had one tail light, which is here.
Huh.
So it's only one tail light.
Where are the
They use
brakes? That's for the brakes too? The only one
Yes,
that lit up? Holy cow.
and they
What
had
are
their
on the back bumpers then? What are those lights?
no, this is on this car. But
Uh,
the old FJ Holdens, the late 50s, 60s, they had the one light only, brake
wow.
light, and,
That's crazy.
yeah, one light.
Cool. Well, hey, we're going to wrap up here. Thank you, Jack, for coming on here. We were supposed to do this last night. People got on and I was late. I thought I told my wife it was at 11, but I told you 10. And
Yeah.
so when I got up there and was trying to reach you, I also saw that I'd said 10 o'clock. That was what it said right there in the message. And I was like, he's probably bailed then. He's probably got other things to do. And I didn't get in touch with him. He's gone. So I'm glad we were able to do it tonight. And
This is, by
hear
the
your
way,
story.
this is 3 years in the making, by the way.
It is 3 years in the making, but you're the one that quit when it all happened. And then
Oh,
you're like, I
what
don't want to do it. I'm not doing RC
what
anymore.
what was I gonna talk about?
The same stuff we talk about tonight, the history of it.
I
You didn't have to
understand,
talk about what
but
you're doing now.
there's nothing new that I
But
do
that's
these
not what we're talking about. We're talking about how people get into the hobby. That's what's more interesting to me, is what
Correct.
bring
Yes.
people into it and bring them along this journey. And that's what I'm interested in hearing, because everybody's got a different way that they got into the hobby, where they started, what was around when they started. It's just fascinating to me to hear. So thanks for sharing.
No worries, and, thanks for having me on your show.
Yep. Thank
Uh,
everybody in the chat for being so active. Lots of stuff. We
yeah,
found out
yeah,
where Outback Jack is,
yeah.
and
No,
the
fantastic. There's
discoveries, lots of discoveries.
few people I know down there, yeah, down
So,
in the chat there, but I really appreciate you having me on your show and everything, and, thanks everybody for stopping by, and I might do one, Dom, I'm not 100%, mate, not yet. Dom wants me to do a live tonight,
oh,
but,
okay.
on my other channel,
Yeah.
but,
Talk food. Get those microwave pizzas going.
but thanks very much, Tony. He's a good
Yep.
bloke, no doubt about it. Support him, all that sort of stuff, and buy all his stuff and everything like that. And
All right.
Josh, I do see you down there. You just popped out of nowhere, and I still blame you to this day, mate. You
All
always
right,
blame
guys.
me. No worries. Thanks very much.
See ya.